Good morning. I'm Andy Myers at Weiss Research, and this is your morning market alert for Thursday, June 2nd. The focus on Wall Street remains on the labor market as investors digest the weekly jobless claims figures and await tomorrow's government employment report. Many analysts are revising their estimates downward following yesterday's disappointing reading on private sector job creation from automatic data processing. Deutsche Bank now expects an increase of 160,000 non-farm payrolls in May, down from a forecast of 300,000 just last week. The ADP data, along with a weak reading on manufacturing, revived fears about a slowdown in U.S. economic growth. That sent markets tumbling, with the Dow Industrials recording their biggest one-day point drop in nearly a year. Investors piled into treasuries, pushing the yield on the 10-year note below 3% for the first time since December. The news also prompted a big drop in oil prices, as traders worried about a slowdown in demand from the world's biggest energy consumer. Crude fell by about $2.50 yesterday, and they're holding steady just above $100 a barrel today. There are signs that $100 a barrel oil is already cutting into demand, and as a result, OPEC is considering boosting production for the first time since 2007. One delegate said the group may raise supply by as much as 1.5 million barrels a day when ministers meet next week. Concerns about Europe's economy are also resurfacing, sending stocks there sharply lower. Moody's investor service downgraded Greece's sovereign debt by another notch and assigned a negative outlook to its ratings. The move signals that Moody's sees a 50% chance that Greece will default over the next 5 years. On the corporate front, retailers are back in focus as they release their May same-store sales figures. So far, the results are solid. Costco Wholesale topped expectations with a 13% jump in sales, and rival BJ's posted a 7.4% increase. Meanwhile, sales at Pier 1 Imports rose more than 10% in the latest quarter, and the home furnishings chain said its revenue and earnings will improve in the current quarter, sending the stock up 3% in the pre-market. But Limited Brands is set to open lower after its May sales missed analyst estimates. Gap also disappointed investors, posting a 4% drop in sales. And finally, keep an eye on shares of Google today. It said that hundreds of Gmail accounts had been hacked and that it traced the attack to China. Google disrupted the campaign, whose targets included senior U.S. government officials, Chinese political activists, and officials in other Asian countries. The Foreign Ministry denied any involvement in the attack and said that China itself had been the victim of hacking. This is just the latest dust-up between Google and the Chinese government. Last year, Google detected and traced another attack on its systems to China. That eventually resulted in the search company's withdrawal from the market. That's the latest from Weiss Research. I'll be back after the opening bell with all the economic data and market reaction.